Well, hello and welcome to Sports by Compion Pick'em Edition. That's right, we're back for the final week of the NFL. Many shows, many football games, touchdown passes, tackles, sacks, beatings. Later, this NFL season is officially going to come to an end, Corey. The regular season, that is. The exciting stuff starts soon. And
True.
that's right, Corey, the motherfucking co-host champion, is here for the boys. Corey, how are you?
Doing fantastic. Just, fighting the forces of evil, trying to steal candy from babies, the usuals.
Perfect. Now, of course, I did say a curse word to begin the podcast. We'll probably immediately go nowhere with this video. Dan will be very happy with us. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! Thank you, Dan. All right, moving on. Mr. Shades himself, I believe, is still in first place. We might check on that, but I don't think it really matters because most importantly, I'm not in first place. Corey, are you in first place?
I don't think so. I don't believe I am, Steven.
No, I don't think so either. It's a bummer. Anyway, let's make some picks, see if we can do better. Make sure you're liking and subscribing to our content, guys, because we do like to have people actually watch it. It's pretty cool.
It's ideal.
We like that kind of stuff. Anyway, we're going to hop on into this. Week 18 is coming up, Corey, and we start off with a banger. The MVP hopeful, Lamar Jackson, takes the boys. Actually, I think they're hosting. Yeah, I think they're hosting the Cleveland Browns on Saturday. What is this Saturday football business? But I guess that's kind of how they do it on the last week of the NFL.
I don't know. There was Saturday football last week also. It's very
It was
confusing
like Tuesday
times.
football. It's very confusing times.
I think this week 18, they didn't make it an extra week. They're just like, more games, cram it all in.
It's crazy. It's
I don't
absolute
know.
madness. But anyway, I am taking the Baltimore Ravens for this because, I mean, do I really need to say anything else?
On
What the heck do they...
On the MVP thing, I saw those. It was basically between like Lamar and Josh Allen, and I was like, well, maybe I didn't really have an opinion about who I thought it should be. I looked up stats, and Lamar Jackson is kind of better in like pretty much every statistic. Like he has a better team around him, but as far as like rushing yards, like
I think the main thing
passing
going
yards,
against him is that
touchdowns, interceptions, he's kind of got Josh beat in everything. So it's kind of like you could debate the team around Josh is worse, and that's why he's getting less done. But at the same time, the numbers, I don't know. I would say if it's between those two, probably Lamar Jackson takes it.
Yeah, probably. I think it's because he won previously, so that's why it's a little bit of a debate.
I think that's what I was thinking also. I was like, oh, we're going to give it to him again? He just won. And then
Did he just win last year, or where was it? Was it last year?
I'm pretty sure it was last year.
Jesus, dude, this guy's on a run. It's scary.
It's just out there doing stuff. Last year, they were a fucking juggernaut of a team. This year, they still are. But
dude, they're plus
less so.
They're minus 3,000. You got to put $3,000 down, I believe, to earn $1. Is that how that works?
I don't think so. I don't really understand betting odds, but I don't think that's how that works.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe not a full 3,000. It might be more like $23 or something crazy. I don't know. Anyway, the point is, don't bet on the Ravens because you're probably not gonna make much money, unless you can afford to bet like $1 million. Hey, if you can afford to bet $1 million on the Ravens, it's still a risk.
But then they fucking rest their starters. They rest their starters, and you're out of mill.
It could be really bad, so maybe don't do that. But anyway, who even is the Browns quarterback, dude? I saw this kid playing against Miami in a very low-watched game, and I was just like, what is going on? Was it Peoples? I think you might be right, yeah. But my thing is, the kid put up 3 points. Go back to Jameis Winston! What are you doing, Cleveland? You deserve... No, he's fine. They just benched him because he was throwing too many interceptions. Which, he was doing Jameis stuff, which is fair.
He's the Jameis experience.
Dude, the only wins they've had are Jameis. The only exciting games the Cleveland has produced, Jameis. What are we doing? Put the kid back in there. Come on. This other guy's not ready. He might be young still. He can still develop. He's not ready.
I think he's been around, people starting his career stats were like 0 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, something like that.
Attaboy.
I think he's a journeyman that's just kind of been knocking around doing poorly.
Either
way,
like
those.
Point is, they just suck. Just put Jameis back
I think
in there.
There's a couple.
It's your only chance of beating the Ravens. If Jameis is playing the quarterback, the Browns have a shot. Without him, no.
Yeah, but that's the thing. I mean, no one wants to admit that tanking's a thing, but like, do you want to risk that Jameis is going to have an on day, and then you have this QB controversy between Jameis and Deshaun Watson because both of them are pretty bad and pretty good at times, and then like, wouldn't you rather just be bottom of the barrel and maybe try to scoop up a quarterback?
They gotta find a way to move on from Watson. Their own fans hate this guy. Like, it is out of control. Like, I've talked about Watson on this podcast before and whatever. I don't really care that much anymore. The guy's a multimillionaire. He doesn't need to defend him. But He should probably bugger off from the league because at this point, everyone just absolutely hates him. And that's rough.
Yeah, it's tough to be just like that hated.
Dude, it's got to be so hard. I'm not fond of the whole thing, but I'm not going to get into it again. In this case, we're just going to move on to the next game, which is Cincinnati Bengals traveling to the Steelers. Now, this is a tough one to pick, Corey. Are they traveling there? I think they're traveling there. So now they need to win, and they need Denver to lose against Kansas City to still have a playoff shot. Well, to get in, they'll be in if that happens.
I think the Bengals have more to play for, but I think the Steelers they hate their division rivals enough that they are going to play them super hard to keep them out. And I think the Steelers are I don't think they'll be able to stop Joe Burrow's crazy, oppressive force. Right. But I also think that their defense is terrible enough that Mr. Unlimited is going to put up some points. So I am going to go Steelers on this one against my better judgment, but I'm you got it sometimes.
No, I'm sold on the Burrow train. He's killing it right now. I'm going Joe Burrow.
He is pretty unstoppable.
He's crazy right now. Jamar Chase is having a year. It's out of control.
He's like the only dude in NFL history to have 7 games in a row of 3+ touchdowns and 350 yards in a row. It's pretty absurd, but it's crazy that this is literally what happened to them last year. Remember last year they were like out and then they just somehow like nibble their way into the playoffs. Like this is just what they do. They take the first half of the year off. I don't know why, but they just don't believe in football in the first half. And then they're like, oh no, we're supposed to be winning. Oh shit, guys, let's do that now.
I guess. It's kind of weird. Their defense is sort of figuring it out the last couple of weeks. But like you said, they're more desperate for this win, so I think they get it done. Moving on, Atlanta Falcons are hosting the Carolina Panthers. I would love the Panthers to win this, Corey, but they look absolutely terrible against the Buccaneers. Their defense is like really confused about who's marking who, and so nobody marks anybody, which is cool for their opponents, not so good for Carolina fans. The Falcons, on the other hand, just dropped a big one on Sunday night. They're still reeling. They're still angry, but they have to win this to stay in it. Mike Penix is pretty damn good at football. So yeah, I think they're gonna get this done, dude. Just the Atlanta team is overall way better than that Carolina team that's pretty deficient of talent.
And if Penix is doing stuff, then yeah, they should be fine.
Yeah, I think they'll be okay here. Oh, look, your Cowboys are hosting the Commanders. How lovely. So the Washington's already in, and they can't really get any better of their seat, right? So maybe they'll rest starters. There's been no talk about it, but potentially.
I'm going down with the ship. With the ship.
Attaboy.
I think the Cowboys are terrible in their own special little way. Even if we lose, we're gonna keep it close. I don't think that the Commanders are that much of a better team than the Cowboys, especially in this later half of the season. Like I think they started good, got really bad, getting slightly better now. Out of the playoffs for Scherzies, this game, I think at this point, they're kind of playing because everyone's talking so much shit about them. They're like, oh, we have to be good. Like when Carolina's bad, everyone's like, nah, Carolina's bad. When the Cowboys are bad, they're like, fuck you. So I think they're kind of playing to, piss people off, or at least I hope so. I'd hope that that's what they're doing.
It's a good statement. It's a good speech. I got to go Jaden Daniels, Offensive Rookie of the Year. My man is on fire right now. I think he's going to get it done. The Packers coming off a very disappointing loss to the Vikings. They can't seem to beat good teams. Luckily for them, the Chicago Bears are not a good team, Corey.
They're going to be
A-okay. Oh my God! Did you see that game on Thursday night last week? I was at a bowling alley, so I didn't really watch it. But every time I looked up, I'm like, all right, defense is just going to dominate this game, I guess. 6-3 was the grand total. Grand total of 9 points scored in the game.
I I did watch that game, and I was like, this is such a horrible game. But I mean, I was also kind of like half watching it, like you said. And then my takeaway was, man, Steve probably loved this. This was such a defensive mauling that Steve must have just loved this. Just nobody scoring, just like 3 and outs, just tons of big defensive plays. But I guess you also thought it was terrible. So little, not even
I didn't
defensive
really watch
people
it.
could enjoy that game. No,
It's
no
been
one
said
could enjoy
before.
that.
It's tough, dude. If you were, it's just no one wants to see that much defense. Okay, we need to see
someone has to score.
Someone has to score. You can't win a game 6-3 and be like, that was great. I'm glad I watched that game.
That was good, fantastic. Run it
like
back.
I think even Seattle fans came out of that game like, what?
What happened? Why are we this bad?
That was the Bears.
Gino, I thought you were the hope, bro. What happened? Did you write back finally? What's happening?
Dude, they definitely sacked the hell out of Caleb Williams. So that defense had themselves a day. Caleb Williams just hangs onto the ball forever, apparently. But anyway, all that to say, the Green Bay Packers are going to kill him.
He's apparently like the most sacked person since Derek Carr in his rookie year. Like he's just eating too many sacks.
Yeah. Yeah, he doesn't know how to get rid of it. It's a problem for him. Real problem, Corey. Anyway, the Texans have secured the AFC South because they are the worst division of football. People trying to say the NFC South is? No, dude. The AFC South is the worst division of football. Everybody there sucks. Okay? Like the Falcons are probably better than the Colts, and the Bucs, I think, are better than the Texans. So, therefore, we're better. Now, you could argue the Jaguars and Titans are probably better than the Saints, but Carolina is probably better than both those two. So, if you're looking like a big pyramid thing, it's Bucs, Houston, Falcons, Colts.
I think you're too worried about how good your fellow division people are instead of just worrying about how good the Bucs are.
I'm just saying that the NFC South is not as bad as the AFC South. That is truly the shit mountain this year. The Texans are going to win the division, but only because everybody else is trash in that division. Especially, we'll get into the Colts here in a minute. That was a fun little week for them. But yeah, I got the Texans winning this game over the Titans. The Titans, I picked them last week to beat the Jaguars because I figured, they could do something. Wrong. I went to Duval County and lost in front of 20 of the Jag fans.
That was a rough one. Who's even throwing for the Titans these days? Oh, is it
Mason Rudolph? Yeah, they got rid of Mayonnaise Man. They're like, we're done with you and your mayonnaise. Get Mason in there. He's the future of this franchise.
He's the future, man. Everyone knows that. Everyone knows that Mason.
He's not even a good backup. You know how there's been like those career backups that will come in and do some stuff every once in a while. Casey Keenum's a good choice. Of course, the GOAT, Ryan Fitzpatrick. These are good backups that will come in. Joe Flacco will come in, get you some wins, get you some yards, and make your team not look like total trash. Dude, Mason Rudolph has been terrible. Like, just get this guy out of the league. I don't think I've ever liked him ever since Myles Garrett hit him with a helmet. I don't know what was said, but for a dude to hit you with his helmet, I feel like you said some dumb shit.
Hit you with your helmet.
Hit you with your own helmet. I think you're an idiot, and you probably deserve that. And I just don't like him ever since that happened. I just feel like you suck, and you probably shouldn't be talking to Myles Garrett because he doesn't suck. So
one of the funniest things I saw was like this dude at a game with like they're in Miami, and I think like the Titans had flown in to play them, and he's like, dude, fucking Mason Rudolph is in my girl's DMs, and she's like, shows the phone, and it's literally like Mason Rudolph entered DM with like the blue check mark and everything. He's like, oh man, I'm cooked.
But yeah, speaking of Myles Garrett, actually, he's just set a record as like one of the only defensive players ever to get like 15 or more sacks a year for like multiple years now. So shout out Myles Garrett, still doing his thing, even though Cleveland is ass. But anyway, back to this game. Yeah, Houston got this. Even though CJ Stroud look terrible this year, I think they could figure it out against
Stroud is still around, so yeah, he's gonna mediocrely nibble them out. It's gonna be great.
Yeah, hopefully they can score more than 2 points. Good Lord, guys. Anyway, Jacksonville Jaguars, Colts. Now, this one's fun because, all right, so if you're the Colts, dude, I just don't know how you managed to piss off the biggest guy in sports media who has always supported you, and you found a way to get this guy to just rip your team apart for the last week on his podcast because you went against him. Dumb decisions. Dumb decisions. Don't pick a fight with Pat McAfee. Now, I am a Pat McAfee fan. You could, fanboy. Whatever, dude. The guy's the number one fucking show in sports media right now. And he loves you. Has always
He's
supported
also like
you.
A veteran player of yours. Like, your fans all love him.
The fans all love him. Well, I think Colts fans are kind of turning on him a little bit right now because he's talking some shit. But he's not wrong about anything he's saying. They haven't done shit since Peyton Manning's left them. There was a couple of times with Andrew Luck and a couple of playoffs things. They haven't done shit, dude. They haven't done shit since the early 2000s. They haven't done shit in forever. They've been terrible. They are paying these guys money, so it's fair to be annoyed at them. Like guys like DeForest Buckner has been there for a while now, making some very good money. And I mean, past his like first or second year, I haven't really heard the name DeForest Buckner being brought up a lot lately. Jonathan Taylor, kind of his contract holdout left a lot of bad taste, I think, in some fans' mouths. But anyway, whatever.
What did they do to piss him off?
Jonathan or Pat McAfee?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do they talk some shit up? Like some of the players or something, or some of the fans are coming after him, and then he sent out this long tweet, basically just bashing the whole organization and everything there. Sounds like some management decisions are being made that aren't very smart, Corey. And you know what? They're 7-9. They're out of the playoffs again. So,
do you remember the year? I forget if I think it was like 2 years ago when they missed the playoffs and they had like 13 Pro Bowlers. Like they had the most Pro Bowlers out of any team, and they still missed the playoffs.
I remember the year they went down to Duval County against the Jaguars, and all they had to do was win and get into the playoffs, and they lost.
I think that was the year, and that was the year they had the most.
Yeah, it was the Carson Wentz year. That was the Carson Wentz year.
Yep.
It hasn't been great for Colts and Colts fans, but I do think they can beat the Jaguars, for God's sake. But who knows?
Hopefully.
Who knows? They're a mess. The playoffs aren't on their line, so they got nothing. They don't have to be worried. So hopefully they'll just play well. Oh, another close one. So last time these two teams met, it was a close one, Corey, for the first couple quarters. And then James Cook broke off a run, and it wasn't close anymore. And I don't think this one's going to be either. Is Jerome Mayo going to survive the offseason? He's going to get fired?
I've not really been paying attention to the Patriots at all.
I don't know how you could be like super mad at the guy, though. Like, who's he supposed to win with? They have no receivers. They suck at drafting receivers. They cannot figure this out. They got like guys named Booty. They got guys named Booty. They got guys named Poke, who's a rookie, so you can't be too mad at Poke. But like Booty's like their number one guy. Like they got dudes like Born Identity. Like what is going on over there in the receiver room? Get a real receiver for Drake May. Get some real fucking offensive linemen because the dude's getting hit every 2 seconds. Figure your lives out before you maybe fire Mayo because it sounds like there's no talent there right now anyway.
Who's their running back? Like who's their running back? Who's the receivers?
Ramondre Stevenson. He's been pretty consistent for the last couple of years. I wouldn't say he's the problem. Stevenson's been pretty consistent, but I just went through a whole list of random names. Trying to identify their wide receivers. These are legit actual names. There's a dude named Booty on their team.
I mean, I believe that's hilarious, and I love that for them.
That's one of their biggest. That's one of their best receivers. And Hunter Henry's still down there, just wasting his life away. But he has a fat contract about it, so can't be too bad.
It's interesting team. But you got to pay the piper. You had all those years of good, happy times. Now you gotta pay it back. Life is about peaks and valleys.
That actually makes sense.
They're in a little bit of a valley right now, and that's.
But I'm at the point where even if they put in Mitchell Trubisky for this game, they're still going to beat the hell out of the Patriots.
Yeah, probably.
It's going to be bad. All right. So anyway, the Giants suddenly had a resurgence, and we're like, yeah, no, we know how to play football. But I think that's only against the Colts, Corey. I don't think it's legit. I don't think it's real. Kenny Pickett is apparently the way, the truth, and the light, as we learned last week.
Well, so here's the thing. The Eagles have such an effective system that their third stringer was killing it. Remember last year whenever Gardner Minshew went in there and he fucking killed it at the end of the season last year, and then he swiftly went over to the Raiders and they're like, oh man, let's get that same Gardner Minshew that killed it with the Eagles. And then they're like, oh, turns out it's really easy to run a really good roster, but we suck and it's harder to do here. I don't think Kenny Pickett, he's not bad, but I don't think he's amazing. I think it's just that that offensive line, dude. So they had DeAndre Swift. He goes to the Bears, disappears. Haven't heard that name all year. They take Saquon Barkley from the Giants, where he was good, but not much going on. They bring him to the Eagles. He's fucking dominant. The Eagles just have a really good fucking line, and it's really easy to be good when you have a really good fucking line. So any quarterback they put there is going to kill it.
Fair enough. And that offensive line will be present on Sunday, which is why I think they will beat the Giants. I have no idea how the Giants suddenly put up like 30-some points, but I don't think they could do that again.
Yeah. No.
Moving on, the Bucs are hosting New Orleans with the NFC South title on the line for the fourth year in a row.
More importantly, Steven, more importantly, 85 yards.
Preach it.
85 yards.
100% what is the most important storyline of this whole thing. Mike Evans hitting his 85 yards. Tristan Wirth is worried about it. Baker Mayfield is worried about it. You know who's not worried about it?
Mike Evans.
Mike Evans. My man just never talks about it, never worries about it, anything.
He's like, I'm just going to do it or I'm not. Dude, I saw a documentary about Mike Evans' upbringing. Some really grim shit.
What? Dude, where? Send me that. I want to watch it.
Yeah. No,
I have heard it was really bad, but I haven't heard the details.
Do you want the TLDR?
Yeah, hit the fans with the TLDR.
So his dad is 19, gets with his mom whenever she was very young, teens, before age of consent. I want to say she was maybe 14 or something. So he's born to a very young mom. The dad is abusive to the mom. The dad is a black gentleman. The lady is his mom is a white lady. Also,
why was that important to the story, Corey? What are you trying to imply?
Well, I'm describing where the Mokolade comes from.
How dare you?
But so the
You're describing how Mokolades are made.
Exactly. The brother of the mom, he gets out of prison. He's staying with them. Goes out drinking with the mom. The story goes where he just kind of leaves. She comes out of the bathroom and she's like, "Oh, where'd he go?" And the friends are like, "Oh, he said he had a headache. He went home." By the time she gets home, she finds Mike Evans' brother, or Mike Evans' uncle, had killed his dad and then killed himself. So now the mom is just left with this kid, dead husband, dead brother.
I think I did hear about this. Yeah.
And then I think he has a bunch of other siblings that might be half siblings.
You know what, dude? That's a grim story. And before you get to the end of it, I'm just going to shout out real quick. Shout out Mike Evans' uncle. Because who knows? If that dad would have stuck around and continued to be abusive, maybe we don't see the same Mike Evans we see today. Because he's a very compassionate, nice man. So, and dude, I was thinking about it today. One of the least diva receivers of all time. He came from a crazy draft class of Devontae Adams, Odell Beckham, divas. And they've proven it time and time again. Not Mike. Just chill, cuts his contract when the team needs him to. Real team player, real good guy. Anyway, I'm sorry, continue.
I mean, it might be honest thing. There was he did a interview where he was like, "Yeah, I obviously wish my uncle hadn't killed my dad, and I obviously wish that my dad wasn't beating on my mom, but he just took it all in stride."
He's just how he is, dude.
He's just shit sucks. I don't know. I'm really good at football. I don't know, but he's another one of those dudes that he was just he played basketball until I think his senior year of high school, and then he started playing football. I could be wrong on that part.
That makes sense. I think you're right.
But I think he was basketball first.
He looks like a basketball player for sure.
Yeah.
I can buy that. Checks out.
Anyway, I'll see if I can dig up that video, send it over to you. But yeah.
He's going to hit 1,000 yards because Marshawn Lattimore isn't even there to slow him down now. Fuck Marshawn Lattimore. But also, yeah.
Dude, did you see Marshawn Lattimore had his debut against the Saints?
Yeah. Yeah, that
was wild.
Wait, who's he with now?
Commanders.
Oh, right. Okay. Really?
Yeah. He traded to the Commanders, and he was kind of they traded him, and then I didn't hear about him for 2-3 weeks, and then they're like, Marshawn Lattimore was activated this game, and I was like, all right, why are you trading for someone and then sitting him for 2 weeks? But I guess he had to learn the scheme before they're
I think he was hurt too when he went over there.
Might have been. But yeah, they fucking activate him for his first game against his ex-team. I was like, that's feisty. I like it.
Love that. Dude, it's funny that the Commanders also I didn't hear higher hair of Marshawn Lattimore on Sunday night. It's because he's good. I'm supposed to hear the corners' names on the broadcast.
Unless they're getting picks, which you're not throwing at a good cornerback either.
Right. Anyway, fuck all that shit. Whatever. Moving on. Denver needs this win. Now, there's talk that the Chiefs might be sitting starters. Very possible. They are 5-1. It's ridiculous. God damn, I hate this team. But anyway, yeah, they are 5-1, and they are traveling to Denver for.
I saw a TikTok where someone was pissed off that the Chiefs are resting starters, so the Broncos are going to win and the Bengals are going to be out. And they're like, the NFL needs to fix this. They got to penalize people for resting starters. This is bullshit. And
I would like them to do something to address this whole tanking thing. Like some guy on Pat McAfee was bringing it up, like, dude, just do what the NBA does, where it's a lottery and it doesn't matter where you're where. But the problem with that is, dude, that's tough for these teams that suck. You're going to continue to suck for a long time. Imagine like you suck and you get 30-second pick and it's like, fuck.
But I don't think tanking is a thing, because if tanking was a thing, why would the Giants have just won that game and given up the first overall pick?
Players and coaches don't tank. Management may be interested in tanking though.
But so I did fucking leave it to TikTok to bring you some good videos sometimes. The female hockey league, what they worked out is once you're mathematically eliminated from the playoffs, then every game after that you can start accumulating points to your draft score. And then you basically just, as you, like, once you're eliminated from playoffs, we can't make the playoffs, but let's keep playing hard so that we keep getting a better draft. Like, instead of tanking for a better draft, you win to get better draft points.
That's
and
cool.
It just motivates teams to not tank, basically.
It's a good idea. They probably should do something with the NFL, because it has been like a reoccurring thing year after year the last couple of years. Get down to these last couple of weeks, and you got teams like the Chiefs, and it's like, all right, yeah, we're out. And then they're playing against somebody who's fighting for their playoff hopes.
This isn't really tanking, though. This is just, we already made the playoffs. We don't care if we end 15-2 or 16-1.
Right. No, that's true too. I don't know how you fix that. But I am gonna go for. Fuck it, I'll go Denver here.
I want to
pick. It's just so hard to pick against the Chiefs.
How many starters are they resting? Because also, like, the Chiefs aren't necessarily a team where they have amazing talent. They just have amazing planning. So, like, whoever they're basically the Patriots of old. Whoever you put in there is going to execute that game plan well.
We got Carson Wentz, so there's that.
Carson Wentz.
Yeah.
I don't know how I feel about that at all.
Yeah, dude, that's going to be interesting.
That would be awesome, though, if the Chiefs won and then Carson Wentz gets a second ring as a backup. That'd be pretty funny. Nick Foles and now Patty Mahomes. Fuck it. I'm gonna be a Bo Lever. I'm gonna go Broncos.
Bo Leave, Corey. Do it. All right, do it for good. That's good sports. Do it for that's good sports.
It's not like the Broncos are a bad team. Like, they're a good team, and if the Chiefs are hamstrung, then yeah, I think Denver can make it happen. I think they played him close in the past.
It's gonna be close. It's gonna be a close game, Corey. But what is also happening in the NFL is that the Chargers are going to go play against Las Vegas, who pulled off a surprising win against the New Orleans Saints. So no one's really talking about it. But yeah, the Raiders are welcoming in the Chargers. Dude, Antonio Pierce needed that win against New Orleans like fucking oxygen. So that was huge for him. I don't think he can rally the boys to get this win, though. Jim Harbaugh really likes to win, so I think it's going to be hard. Justin Herbert's been pretty decent. Yeah, no, I'm definitely going Chargers here, Corey. There ain't no chance that Aiden O'Connell's going to pull this off.
Yeah, I think that one's a pretty easy pick. As 95% of people agree.
Yep. So NFC is West. I don't think the Rams have this locked up yet. I think they need to beat Seattle. And if Seattle wins, I think they can win it. So this is like for the division, this game here. The Rams have been really, really good lately, though. They're not scoring a lot of points, but their defense is on fire.
I think the Rams are already in.
Always like 4th and 5th round picks. You might be right. At 10 wins, they might be in. No, but I don't know if they are. I think the two wild cards are the Packers and the Commanders right now.
But I think even if they lose this, I think by strength of schedule they beat Seattle.
but they're both being. You might be right.
I think they
But
take
no,
the
I know
division.
Seattle's still in the hunt though.
Are they?
And they can't win a division game. They can't win a. They can't win the wild card spot because the Commanders already have 11 wins, and so do the Packers. So
fair enough. All right. I still think Rams, regardless.
I still think the Rams too. Yeah, I think they're going to figure out their offense, even though that Seattle defense is apparently fucking amazing. I think they find a way to get this win. Aaron Rodgers benched himself after maybe one of the worst. I've heard it's like the worst quarterback rating in the modern Super Bowl era, which is just so sad to see. I know there's a lot of Rodgers haters out there. I'm certainly not one. I do like the guy, so I'm not fond of what we're seeing on the football field this year. All that said, Tua's still questionable. He's still questionable for this game. If not, they got to roll with Tyler Huntley. Miami needs. I think they need Denver and the Bengals to lose, or maybe they're next in line. I think they're next in line. So if Denver loses and they win, they're in. If they lose and Denver loses, then Cincinnati wins. Is in if they win. So it's a tough road for Cincinnati right now. They're sitting there a little bit further back. I do think Miami's going to get this done against the Jets. Whatever's going on with the Jets right now, it is just not fucking working. The dude's got tons of people to throw the ball to. I have no idea how he's doing so bad, but they're bad. They're really bad right now, Corey.
It is. Well, they also fired their coach halfway through the season, so like whatever game plan they had, kind of. Yeah, exactly. Like you're just kind of scrambling at that point. Which I think is a bold strategy, seeing as how last year they were solid, but
they were not solid. They won about the same amount of games as they've won this year.
No, I think they're like 8-8 last season.
They certainly were not, Corey. They won about 3 to 4 games last year. They had Zach Wilson playing quarterback for them. Of course, they didn't win 8 games.
That's fair. I thought whatever. I think maybe they just looked really good, and they were like, "Oh, this team is a quarterback away."
Well, they beat the Chiefs at one point, which everyone was like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be amazing," but then it wasn't. Anyway, I'm taking Miami.
Yeah, is Aaron playing, or is he just, I'm done for the season, I might go retire now?
I think he's playing, but I don't think it'll matter. He is off his game this year.
Yeah, didn't come back from injury quite the same.
Nope. Anyway, 2 teams that are out of it is the NFC West again. They got this is just a whole division rivalry week. Isn't that just beautiful, Corey?
That's crazy. Yeah, I kind of like it.
Yeah, that's kind of how it works out in week 18, I think. But anyway, the 49ers playing against the Cardinals. Kind of hard to define teams here. Both of these guys.
They're just the purgatory teams, man.
They are. I would say that the Cardinals have a better record than the 49ers, which is wild. But I don't know, man. They probably should have beat the Rams. Like, freaking Trey McBride, dude. Like, he had a good year, so it's tough that's like what a lot of people are going to remember this year for him. Fucking a ball just bouncing off his helmet. Like,
he was straight up getting tackled as that ball came through, though. Like, that was very clearly PI. And they were just like, we'll allow it.
We'll allow it. Tackling him before the ball's there, we'll allow it.
That's fine. Yep, give it to him.
Moving along. We need the Rams to win this. You guys suck.
Yeah,
okay?
But I will say that was a fucking crazy catch that dude did. Like,
yeah, it was nice.
I was here for it. I think that San Francisco takes it, and in true, this weird middling division fashion, they both end at 7-10.
I like that. I'm buying in too. San Francisco to take that win, that fascinating game. And now, the real meat of the week, Corey, even though it's here at the end. That's right, no dessert this week. Instead, we just get a fucking main course 7-platter meal, which is the goddamn Vikings and the Lions. 2 of the best teams in the NFL going head-to-head. NFC North on the line. Pretty good. It's pretty cool. Excited. The Lions are decimated by injuries, but they're the Lions. They've just been doing stuff this year. It doesn't seem to matter. Nothing matters. Dan Campbell just finds a way. But Minnesota's got the Sam Darnold magic, the Kevin O'Connell magic. What happened to that
also,
first week?
You just have like the best receiver room in the league, like TJ Hawkinson. You got Justin Jefferson. You got what's number 3, Addison.
Yeah.
Like they just, who are you not going to throw the ball to? Like there's too many people to cover.
There is, and with Detroit being as banged up as they are, and Detroit won the first matchup, even though this one's in Detroit. Should we go Vikings? Should we do it?
I'm going Lions, dude. I mean,
oh my god,
their line is still mostly healthy. They still have Amon-Ra St. Brown, and they still have Goff. They still have one of their running backs. Like they have enough of their important pieces. Like they're definitely missing guys, but I think they have enough guys that any other team would be like a full strength team. You know.
I hear you, and you've been picking better than I have this year, but I'm still going Vikings. I believe in the Sam Darnold magic. Even though they're on the road, I think they could get this done.
I think either way, it's going to be a high-scoring game. So I put, that's Packers and Bears. Oh, I thought this was Minnesota and Detroit.
I've never paid attention to what it actually says. I just write in numbers because I assume they're all.
I put in 65 because I was like, fuck it, a bunch of points.
but Bears Packers, it might be more like 47.
I'm gonna go 32. I like just putting in numbers.
I'm going to go 48. I like my number 48. I'm sticking with that. Yeah. Anyway, Sports Copy and fans, that's our picks for the week. Whether we're right or not, nobody knows. Do you know, Corey? Because I don't.
I always know, but I just sometimes lie for funsies.
So anyway, it does look like our boy Kyle, who never came on the pod, one of Dan's friends, is going to take the whole thing. I'm going to take second place unless I can catch him. I'm only 3 games behind him. You are only 8 games behind me, and then Dan is 6 games ahead of me, and I don't think you're going to catch him this week, Corey, unless he picks absolutely terrible. Looks like Dan's going to win for the 2nd year in a row.
What I will say, one of these years, I'm going to realize what's going on in week 1, and then I won't be behind the whole week.
Yeah.
It's going to be great. It's going to be great, Steve.
You might really get in there. We're going to kick Kyle out for sure because the dude didn't come on the podcast. You can still come on, Kyle, in the future. We don't know who you are. But you can come on and make picks. He's been making his picks all year. Like, Dan, send them our way.
Making good picks, apparently. Yeah, look at
it. Yeah, been doing fine. Weird. Anyway, Sports Company fans, we hope we've helped you make some good picks over the course of this year. We hope that you don't listen to our picks when we're picking the Buccaneers or Cowboys when we clearly know they're probably not going to win. But that you do take everything we say with a grain of salt, as you should with just about every media source out there in the world, but any topic, Corey. So anyway, before the drones that are flying around there in New Jersey for you come to get us, we're going to wrap up this episode. We're going to say thank you to the Sports Company fans for supporting us all year with our Pick'em show. It's one of our favorites. It's fun. It's for the kids. Well, not really for the kids, right? We curse a lot. So it's probably not for the kids. But we do appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for listening and whatever else. Corey, do you have anything to say maybe about the drones flying around there? What have you seen?
Well, I have been out and about at all hours of the night and day. Me and Sunshine, we had a 3 a.m. walk last night.
Nice.
We are just there at all hours. We are not necessarily looking up at the sky. But I have not seen any drones. I think I do at all times have my, my old 1800 blunderbuss. If I see one, I will blow it out of the sky. And I will investigate.
Are you worried that it won't be able to reach that far, though, your aim? You know what I mean?
I know how to arc it. I have tons of experience with this blunderbuss. I've shot many pigeons and birds. I'm an old-timey huntsman with my blunderbuss.
Perfect. Murdering wildlife is really popular with the fans nowadays, so that's huge.
I'm basically like an outdoor cat. I see a bird and I shoot it.
Cool. I like that. Dude, some people are always like, oh, don't let the cats out. We need our birds. Do we? They're government drones, people, all right? Grow up. Good Lord. Grow up. Anyway, Sports Copy and Pass, thank you so much for tuning in. We're out.